Ready? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a beautiful sunny evening on March 25th. Board of Directors of Metroplex. We welcome everyone who's watching by YouTube and cable access, and we welcome all of you to the meeting. First order of business tonight is approval of the minutes of the February 11th meeting. May I have a motion? Brad, seconded by Sharon. Any comments on the minutes? Great job. No comments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks. Next is the treasurer's report.
Yep, Karen is out of town, so I'll take the lead here. Revenue continues to track well to the budget. As we'll see with our audit, we had a great sales tax year last year, record highs, and we're hoping for continued positive activity in 2026. Operating expenses on budget, cash on hand, 10,877,000. Undistributed project commitments, 8,905,000. And we are just getting started with some pre-development spending, so very little through February.
I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Sharon, seconded by Brad. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. We'll move on to a number of resolutions this evening. The first one deals with allocating some of our DRI funds that we were successful winning from the state in a small match of Metroplex to support wayfinding and lighting projects downtown.
Yeah, we've been real successful getting through the DRI projects that Metroplex has administered, and we're providing some technical support to the city on the remaining projects that they're focused on, one being the wayfinding signage, and then there's a downtown lighting project here. The J connector is another one that they're working on as well that is out of date right now. Really good positive momentum to further connect, or revitalize downtown with Mohawk Harbor. The project in front of you requests $250,000 of Metroplex resources to match the DRI investment of $1,075,000 for the wayfinding and lighting project. Downtown wayfinding has been a popular project among all the downtown revitalization awards across the state. It lets visitors have a sense of where things are with other offerings that are downtown. You'll see in your project plan images of what these will look like. People are very excited about maintaining the look similar to the historic street poles. Very good positive project. The city went out to bid. They're reviewing their bids right now with anticipation of awarding it in April. They worked with KMA, which is one of these large sign designers, really put together a terrific plan. So they're looking to move that this season. The other project that will be going out to bid very soon would be the lighting project. There are a few streets, Broadway, Clinton, and Franklin, that still have some of the old style overhead lights that aren't as pedestrian friendly, don't put up enough light in the right place. $850,000 of this project is funded to replace those lights. Our funding, the $250,000, will supplement both projects. As part of the lighting project, there are some lights that are no longer working in downtown, some poles that need to be replaced for one reason or another. We'll be able to supplement that so that we really resolve a lot of the issues as people come back to downtown after these investments and really see everything refreshed and looking good. First action is for the environmental review. The downtown wayfinding and signage project we see as unlisted action, obviously a positive effect on the environment. The downtown lighting, it's replacing something as is. That's just a type 2 action. So the seeker action identifies both for both of those. And then again, the general project plan supports $250,000 to supplement the city DRI investment.
Great. Have a motion on this. Sharon, second. Bob, just a couple of comments. We don't really have any wayfinding now. Just be honest. I mean, we took over a downtown that didn't have very much activity. We built a lot of activity. You got 2 million people a year going to Mohawk Harbor. You have 700,000 people a year going to Proctor's. The first 3 months of the Titanic exhibit, we had 50,000 people go to the Titanic exhibit. We have a lot of people coming here, and we need to have wayfinding and signage, not better signage. We don't have any. And so this has been a shortcoming, and we love this because it's a great example of OPM, other people's money. We got the state grant that we won on a competitive basis, and we're using that money to move this forward. The lighting was another part of the DRI. If you go downtown, we've replaced so much of the lighting, but there are a couple of blocks, Clinton between State and Franklin, and Broadway between State and Union, have the old bad lights. And so this was something that was highlighted during the DRI public input meetings, that we needed to upgrade the lighting in those areas. So again, we're really excited about getting that done. The city engineer, Chris Wallace, done a great job. And so these are just two of the many different DRI funded projects that we have. And again, we're leveraging, 1.125 million in state money with a $250,000 Metroplex match. So we're really deploying the DRI funding to make some good improvements downtown. Lighting is very important. As David said, at the same time, we're going around all of downtown, looking at the lights, and saying, which ones do we have outages? Do we have problems? Let's make sure all the lights are working. And I believe we're really the only downtown that we still have that coordinated lighting that happens at holidays. It's very popular, where we have that, the train station lights up, Proctor's lights up, so many different attractions downtown. We can coordinate to do red, white, blue on 4th of July, and red and green at Christmas, and blue and white for Hanukkah and other things. It's really been a great addition. So lighting is very important, as is wayfinding. So we moved two important components of a successful downtown into fruition tonight with this vote. So we appreciate your support. So we have a motion in a second. We'll call the question on the seeker resolution. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And same with the adopted general project plan. All those in favor say aye. Thank you.
And there was Sharon and Bob.
Yeah, we'll use those again. Next, we go to a problem property downtown that we've been working very hard on. It's the Parker Inn, the former Parker Inn. And I'll have David summarize, but I will certainly make some comments here as well.
No, Ray will go into detail on this, and it's, we can do all this to add, wayfinding signage, increase lighting, but if there are private property owners that are not taking care of their properties, it just takes away from all our progress that we're having downtown. So removing blight is a very important piece of our activity, as you all know from your time here. We're talking about 434 State Street, the Parker Inn. As we've done with other properties, we'd like the board's support to commence the eminent domain procedure law. What it allows us to do is notify the owner and call for a public hearing. We'll take steps to get an appraisal on the property, identify what the fair market value is with eminent domain. That's the step that you can take. If there's something blighted or not taken care of, you can identify what the fair market value is, and it allows you to hopefully start a positive negotiation that we're not going to continue to accept to be a property like this. So that's the action with resolution 1894-26, and pass off to Ray.
We have a couple photos that we can show, just of the current state of affairs at the Parker Inn. It's not very good, and we'll go through this and I'll make some comments.
You have to press the button. So,
Of course, the entranceway, which they haven't done a good job maintaining. Proctor's actually went in there and did some screening so that advertise Proctor's, but go ahead and you go inside. Scott took these pictures. So this is the front of the building, of course, 8 stories, right next to Proctor's. This is the front lobby area, correct, Scott? Or, yeah. I mean, that's the current state of affairs of this building. Just a jumbled mess. This is one of the rooms, Scott.
Yep.
Just
A lot look like that, of course.
Another room, just not current, not taken care of. Ceiling painting. This is where some repairs wait. A couple of times now there have been water pipe breaks in the building because the building hasn't been properly taken care of, hasn't been heated properly. So what happens when you get cold temperatures? Pipes break, you have water leaks. And you see there, that's one area where they've made some basic repairs. But it's really a sad state of affairs. This gentleman he's from New Jersey. He bought the property in 2022. You could take those down. And we reached out to them, welcome to Schenectady, we try to work with everybody. We brought Todd Garofano over from Discover Schenectady. We brought Philip Morris over. We love to put guests from Proctor's here at the hotel. We need hotel rooms. Oh yeah, I'm going to get the renovations done. I'm going to open, 6 months. Give me some time. And we follow up, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. And sure enough, winter comes. He doesn't properly heat the building. Nobody's in the building. So you have extensive damage that damages multiple floors. He files an insurance claim. We talk to him again. We stay on it. I mean, this is 2022. We're coming up on 4 years of just neglect and ignoring the problem and not paying attention to it. The city codes people have been fantastic. We want to thank the mayor, Brian Trincy from City Codes, have been over there and made sure that the heat is on, the pipes are working, fire suppression is working. This building's in the heart of the Proctor's block, is right next to Proctor's. And so the city has been very vigilant. The mayor went over there personally and met with the owner and said, we can't have this. This poses a risk not only to the building itself, but to the whole block, including our gem of Proctor's. And again, there's minimal repairs are made. The fire alarm is reinstated. The electrical gets turned back on, but nothing happens. And so they wound up listing the building with a realtor. We reach out to the realtor, welcome, we take them on the tour. We bring the realtor, thanks to Scott, a qualified buyer for the property who's eager to buy it and renovate the building. And again, even though we bring a qualified buyer, there's no response from the owner or the broker. I mean, this is just madness and we're dealing with this in Scotia. I mean, your bank does a beautiful job of improving the property, and we're pursuing eminent domain. We'll have an update at the next meeting at 37 Mohawk Avenue. Same situation, out-of-state buyer, neglect, no activity. They just are content to let the building run down and rot, while others, and neighbors, Philip Morris is horrified by this. The guests at Proctor's are, so this was just an untenable situation. And only after, our courtesy and our welcoming, our offer to help, Todd from Discover saying, we can't wait for these rooms to go online. Philip, I'll book X number, hundreds and hundreds of nights worth of business he's willing to commit to, and nothing happens. What am I missing, Scott? Anything?
No, well said. I mean, basically, the guy sold the building 4 years, 3 main water breaks. The amount of damage is unconscionable. Now we have mold. Any work that's been done on that property in the last 4 years is really, it's gone. It's all to be remediated. All the mold in the walls, the ceiling, all the fixtures are beyond repair. The guy's going through a personal situation, which is compromising and doing anything. It's in the court situation in New Jersey. And we've had an offer since August 15th. So 7 months almost to the day. There's been no action. It's a good offer. It's not a low offer. And because of what's going on in New Jersey in the quarter, they can't make a decision. But we can't let this keep going on. It's terrible. I'm not sure a year from now we'll have much of a building left. Not being overstating this, it's the truth. And a lot of damage in the building.
And again, now this project, I have to point out, was done in 2002 by Metroplex. And the Metroplex board at that time is partially culpable for this mess. This project was not well thought out. This is a needle building, 8 stories, narrow, 26 rooms or 23 rooms. I added a few rooms, whatever the number is. I've always said, Conrad Hilton couldn't have made money on this building. It wasn't a well thought out project. You put a residential hotel in the middle of a construction site. It's downtown. Proctor's then started a $40 million construction project next door. Of course, the guests at the hotel are going to be up all night listening to the construction. It just, the way they structured the layout of the building, there was nothing street facing. They should have just done the first floor, and had some kind of attraction, that was front facing. Instead, they had the lobby and the check-in area facing State Street, and they had a bar, in the back. That was popular for a while. That should have been up front and shown street activity. The upper floors could have just been left alone for a number of years until there was, more stability and more interest in the market. And, Metroplex at the time, prior to 2002, and we've seen this time and time again, where we've had to clean up the mess that was caused by Mr. Robertson, Mr. Hull, Mr. Jasinski. The one project after another, I could spend the next hour going through a litany of these projects. And at the time, Mr. Golub and all of these other members of the board in 2002 heartily embraced this project. They went out to a gentleman who had no experience at all in running a hotel and gave him $1 million grant and a $450,000 loan. That's the opposite of the way it should be, by the way. The loan should be small. The loan should be a bigger part. They gave him $1 million grant. And so, we had to write that off years ago. And the only person that voted against it that night was Lou Burmaster. And we thank Lou for his service to the community and his wisdom on that vote, because the project never made any sense. And so what happened is the original owner passed it on, sold it, and it went through a series of owners. The property deteriorated, and now to the worst owner of all, this gentleman from New Jersey who's just neglected the property. But again, it was like a lot of the other projects that were done, prior to 2004, when a smart, educated group of people took over this community development effort. And, we had to do better than was done before, because nothing happened before. I could just go on the mistakes that were made. The Diamond Cinema, their grand vision for the alcohol plant was the biggest tire recycling plant in the world. I mean, I could just go on and on and on, but it's just reliving the bad history that we know occurred. But, the Metroplex board in 2002, by jumping into this project, in my opinion, and at the time when I was an economic developer of the state, I thought it was a foolish move, and I was proven correct. It wasn't a good move. So, the building was saddled with too much debt, and it's gone through a series of owners, and it's just been a problem. We just want to set the record straight that the current team at the county building, the current team at City Hall, the team at Metroplex, our unified economic development team, which has been in place and working successfully in this community since 2004, had nothing to do with getting this project off the ground. It was a failed project, in my opinion, from the get-go. And now we're here and we're asking your support, because this owner has neglected it for all these years. We need to bring him to the table through the courts. We have no other choice. And I want to thank Scott for how someone who's paying taxes at least, but we're there with a bona fide offer to take him out, and he just doesn't even respond, doesn't counter, doesn't give it the time of day. So we're hoping that this action tonight, if you approve it, will get his attention and we can try to make something happen.
I move.
Motion, second, or you have a question? Second?
Yes.
Thank you. All those, any discussion, comments?
I'm just curious how it works. So is this something we would take possession of? And then what? We sell it?
We have buyers, just like, so we're in the middle of this project.
So we may not have to take possession.
No, and we're hoping that, by taking this action, this is just the first step, which authorizes the obtaining appraisals, doing environmental reviews, doing a phase 1, a phase 2, those kind of things, so that we're able to evaluate the situation. And then we'll keep you informed. We'll have to come back over and over again.
Yeah,
Well,
I was just curious how it works.
Eventually,
we could take title, but as to what Scott and Ray alluded to, the condition gets so bad where this process is an intensive legal process, which will cost us money. And hopefully this can be resolved by knowing that we do have the power to do this. And there probably is a meeting place we can come, and then we would not have to take possession first.
we have people interested in the building that are good local investors who want to do something positive. And so they are, that's a factor too, but we'll keep you all informed But and again, we don't use this tool lightly. It's a very dramatic tool, and a lot of people don't like this ability of government to use eminent domain. We've used it only very, very rarely, and usually there's an ability to come to some compromise because it shows earnestness on our part that we're not going to take this anymore. I mean, we cannot tolerate this gentleman's abuse of the building and abuse of our community. Good question. Yeah.
Well, I've looked at this one for a long time because right then, a long time, we had the question of what we were to do with it. And you can't really take it out of there because you have a 20 foot thick place. What are you going to put in them? But what I don't understand is we have Mono Shores and everything all going around down there. And to have somebody not even do any with it is ridiculous to me.
It's sad. It's very, it makes no business sense. You have an offer, you have a property you're not using, sell it. Do something with it, upgrade it and book the rooms or sell it. So well said. Any other comments or questions? Otherwise, we'll call the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks. We'll move forward and we'll keep you posted. Next, we go to some other business, which is more positive. Our audit, which came out really well, and some of the other accounting and reconciliation measures we have to deal with tonight as part of our annual reports to the state. So we'll let David summarize.
More positive, huh? This is the boring stuff that we do, but it's very important. So the first action will be the 2025 audit. The fiscal audit committee met prior to this meeting to review in detail with our CPA team from BST. Tonya, we thank her very much for all her work going back and forth, doing not only this audit, but working with our other financial advisement team on comparing notes and making sure everything is as you approved and we're spending money the right way. Great results from this past year. Record sales tax, 12.74 million, increasing from 11.89 million in 2024. So this is a record high year for us. At the same time, despite increasing costs, we were able to keep our operating expenses up only slightly, about 3.5%. And that's with some new personnel and some higher healthcare costs that we can't control. But I really appreciate everybody in the team doing their best to be efficient. This is the most paper I think we've used all year with the audits. So, we do our best to, preserve our money for the economic development activities. Project grants, 4.34 million. So still another busy year. We've invested 245 million and change so far into this community, leveraged $1.72 billion. That's getting to be really big numbers. And, as Ray pointed out, what the community looked like in those early 2000s. That was my first introduction to this community and what it looks like now. Kudos to the team now and the team that took over in 2004 to move it so far. Just all the attractions and everything we've been able to accomplish. So the good, clean audit. We'll get it reported to the state by March 31st. And again, appreciate everybody's support.
Any motion? Sharon, second. Thank you. Any questions on the audit? Great job, Tonya and team. Thank you. God, phenomenal amount of work. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, always something that we do, kind of reconcile accounts that went a little bit over, a little bit under, and we usually wind up putting money back into the treasury because of this, and we're going to do that tonight, hopefully.
Yeah, again, the fiscal audit committee reviewed this prior and made the recommendation to the board with two resolutions. The first one is to close out a total of, what I have it calculated here, I think it's 48 projects. It should be in the resolution. And that brings back $1,881,559. Big number, right? Yeah. But there are a few things that we had hanging out there for quite some time. You look at a few Green Street properties, those were with the Better Community Neighborhoods. We did a Main Street grant up there. We had tried to stimulate a few additional ones, but by the time they used their funds, they did 9 properties. So those are dropping off. Few other projects. One of the big ones is we were able to find a new user for the 108 State Street property lease that we had. So the money we had allocated to that was able to drop off. And then we had some, other projects where there was other, either we decided we didn't need any additional parking equipment. The county had a project where they were able to pick up all the costs with federal money. So all good news, pulling 1,881,559 back. That's a great number when you have a real small number of where you need to go over a little bit. We had 4 projects that need a slight amount of additional funds for $37,211. The biggest one was when we renovated the Clinton North parking lot. Part of a creek is down there. There were some things that we had to do to make the grades work. That was done in 23, 24. Great project. It's been a very popular lot. So hope to get your support to allocate an additional $37,211 to those projects.
A motion on this, Sharon, second by Brad. All in favor? Thank you. Annual reports.
Annual reports. So the ABO requires a series of reports to be filed by March 31st. They include a mission statement, which has not changed, and our performance report for 2025, an investment report, and real property report. Governance committee went through all of these highlights this year. We had 40+ economic development announcements, $218 million of new investment generated from Metroplex's investment, 340 new jobs, very active year. Back to the points about great sales tax, countywide, wonderful sales tax activity, which means there's good economic growth going on. And as you all know, Metroplex also administers the industrial development agencies. Both of those, where their projects are more for longer term pilots and or a lot of affordable housing that we've been doing as a community. Housing has become a big part of economic development. They reported 2,697 jobs. So I think we're serving the mission of all the different parts of our economic development activity, from generating housing, generating jobs, increasing sales base, removing blight. It's all there. And just from a personal side, appreciate your support. It's great to do this kind of work. And that's that. So that's the performance report. Investment report. You'll see where we were with total funds. We do a great job here of, if we're not in immediate need to utilize those funds, we do keep that in an interest-bearing savings account, which is fully FDIC insured. Tonya will move back and forth funds as needed to make sure that we're getting as much investment that we can from investment gains from our funds. Lastly is our property report. You'll see the holdings, most of them are parking infrastructure, some parcels that are held for development. Only change this year that I referenced before was the termination of the 108 State Street lease. So those are the property reports for this, the performance reports for this year, annual reports. Let me know if there are any questions.
We take that or do the consent agenda, whatever you want to do.
Let's do the annual reports first, and we'll do the
Okay.
consent agenda.
So we need a motion on the annual report. Sharon, second. Yep. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Thank you. And now we do the consent agenda on the policies. Or no?
Yep. Yeah, we do all those at the same time.
These are standard policies that we have to submit. They don't really change. I don't think there's any change. So
That's correct. The one change we made, minor changes to update the personnel policy. Governance committee went over that. Everything else is the same. Again, thank the team for their work. Kristen works on the minority women-owned business plan, which is there's not quite a bit of activity and work to do with that. But I really thank the whole team for chipping in and making sure that we get these all done, get our ABO reporting in by the end of the month.
And that's one of the reasons we had moved the meeting back to get all of these things done by the deadline. So thank you for accommodating that change. We need a motion and a second on the consent agenda for the policies. Second, thank you, Sarah. All those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Great. Our next meeting, we're gonna do, because we're having it so late, we're gonna send out a notice tomorrow, April 22nd, Wednesday night. We'll try to do a brief meeting. And other than that, unless there's any comment, I'll take a motion to adjourn. So move, second, Bob, all in favor, say aye. Thank you. Can I just